We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be there very long, but there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put him in handcuffs?
I
You know we're going to win this. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll get you out. For me? All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers. Awful experience for a child.
We have an update on the Jesse Butler case.
I'm in the courthouse. Jesse, why did you rape those girls, Jesse? Jesse, why did you rape the girls? You have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? You have anything to say to the victims? Being loud is not a violation. Sir, do you have anything to say to the victims? You have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape them, Jesse? Why did you rape the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape those girls? Why did you strangle them, Jesse?
When it was discovered that despite pleading no contest to heinous sexual assault charges, his case was reclassified, allowing him to be considered a youthful offender and seriously lessening his punishment. Because you see, Butler was facing years in prison after being charged with almost a dozen felonies. The former high school baseball player reportedly attacked at least 2 different girls that he had been dating, even putting one in the hospital, all while outwardly appearing to be, the perfect boyfriend. The 2 victims, known by their initials KS and LS, eventually realized that they both experienced horrific treatment at the hands of their ex. Butler's actions were reported to police in 2024. Arrest warrants were issued in January and February of 2025, but they weren't executed for weeks. Butler was finally arrested on March 4th, and all the while, the girls were still attending Stillwater High School, where Butler was a senior. So he was charged in adult court with 2 counts of attempted rape in the first degree, 3 counts of rape by instrumentation, 1 count of sexual battery, 1 count of forcible oral sodomy, 1 count domestic assault and battery, and 2 counts of domestic assault and battery by strangulation. And Butler was also charged with violating a protective order that apparently one of his victims had taken out against him. And at the time of the crimes, Butler was 17 years old, but he was 18 when he's sentenced.
In addition to this, a second victim who goes by LS reported she told him no multiple times, tried to push Butler away, but he was too powerful. She reported he would apologize for what he was about to do, but said he had to do it. That first victim, KS, says Butler recorded himself choking her. The police also said they recovered those files. This is who, according to the reporting, is getting away with it and serving zero jail time.
Doctors say that he was 30 seconds away from murdering one of those girls. He choked one of those girls so hard that they had to have surgery on their neck because their artery was leaking. And those doctors were ready to testify in a hearing, in a trial, to testify that this man did terrible, terrible things to these girls. This boy did terrible, terrible things. But the district attorney at the time decided that he deserved a plea deal because he was considered a youthful offender at the age of 17. Jesse Butler got away with no time in jail, and now, a year later, now that he has turned 19, it's completely wiped off his record.
And that district attorney, let's talk about her. Laura Austin Thomas, seen here. She announced her retirement back in April. The story first broke last year. Butler would be bailed out, hardly serving any time whatsoever. And he was granted youthful offender status. The punishment, for what we know, light is an understatement. It is a severe, grossly severe understatement here. Thomas's office said Butler was required to complete his rehabilitation plan successfully, including an aggressive schedule of therapy with a specialist in sex offender treatment, and should he fail, he would face reclassification as an adult and be sentenced to 10 years in prison. Under the plea, Butler would also attend weekly counseling sessions and check-ins with his probation officer until he turned 19. Now, the judge in this case, also worth talking about. Susan Worthington. She was responsible for granting youthful offender status. In June, she was cleared of any wrongdoing by the Council on Judicial Complaints. Stillwater, as many know, including myself being a humongous sports fan, is the home of Oklahoma State University. Butler's father has ties to the powerful Division I football program, previously serving as the director of operations and as assistant athletic director for the school district of Stillwater. Judge Worthington is also connected to OSU. The Oklahoman reports she earned a pair of bachelor's degrees from the institution.
Yesterday, they had a court hearing to wrap things up since the charges are going to be officially dropped after this erroneous plea deal. And the defense attorney allegedly painted Jesse Butler as the victim in this case. Well, that upset the new district attorney. Now, let me be clear. They can't redo this case. They can't do it again. That's double jeopardy at the state level. But the feds can.
Butler's attorney, Derek Chance, proclaimed innocence and painted his client as the victim. This obviously did not sit well, especially with new district attorney Jeremiah Gregory, who was sworn in on July the 31st. He would go on to say, today's hearing included disingenuous assertions from the defense regarding the defendant's innocence, that he was the victim in this matter, and that the victim's assertions were false. Nothing has made my blood boil more. I did not know this was going to be allowed, nor did the defense attorney reveal he intended to make any kind of statement. The statements made in court were inappropriate, to say the least. This is a story, in my opinion, of white privilege. It is a story of an unjust criminal justice system. It is a story of potentially connections. And it is a story about how someone like him, Jesse Mack Butler, who is a white baseball player, can get away with some of the most heinous crimes that we've ever seen per the reporting, and get away with it. That he could just walk free because he went to therapy and was on probation. They deem those punishments. I do not. And what I want you to do is think about if that was your daughter. By the way, pick, because there were two. How would you feel if the person who choked your daughter and recorded it and then violated her and violated another girl was just able to go home? And if you're in the community, you might even see him walking the street. How would you feel? Because I know how I would feel about it.